What up, everybody? It's your boy Jordan. We back it again with another video. Today, I'll be reacting to another JxmyHighroller video, and the title of the video is Using Numbers to Find the Greatest Individual Season in NBA History. In my opinion, I think it's probably one of Michael Jordan's seasons, because I remember I was looking at Michael Jordan's stats, and I think one season he averaged like 37, 38 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, and he still was shooting like 50% from the field. It might be that season. Michael Jordan is nuts. He was a different breed. I ain't surprised by the 37, 38 points, in my opinion. Michael Jordan is the greatest scorer in NBA history, in my opinion. Like, just flat out getting buckets, Michael Jordan, for sure, the best scorer. But I'm surprised about the 8 assists, because MJ wasn't passing. 8 assists, that's excellent for MJ. And he did that for a whole season. He averaged 8 assists a game. Yeah, I gotta check this out. So let's get into the video.
If I asked you throughout NBA history who had the best individual season and what year did it take place, what would your answer be? Can a season truly be great if a player doesn't lead their team to a championship? What about empty stats, or years where players put together incredible seasons but didn't walk away with the MVP? Just like many other fans of the game, I've always wondered who truly had the greatest season in NBA history.
I'm telling you, it's going to be one of Michael Jordan's seasons. It have to be. If it's not one of Michael Jordan's seasons, I'll be shocked. It got to be one of Michael Jordan's, though. It have to be.
If we were to somehow add up all the things that a player did throughout a season, their impact and value, and condense all of it into one number, some sort of value or greatness score, then we could determine who had the best season of all time. And so that's what I did. A formula to decide who had the best individual season in NBA history. And not only did I find that season, but it was so great that no other season comes even close.
Oh, wow.
With the 2023 NBA season going completely off the rails with big games, huge numbers, and record-breaking performances every other night, I had to gather myself and put all of this madness into context. How historic are these seasons really? Where do the individual performances of this season rank among the greatest season performances in NBA history? Well, in order to answer this question, I had to create a basic formula that factors in everything a player does on an individual level throughout a season. But first, I had to determine what numbers and awards actually matter and which ones don't. For example, winning the MVP is the greatest individual award a player can win, but there have been countless amazing seasons in which players did not win the award. So we can't use this as a metric to measure how great an individual season really was. I also have
Well, yeah, personally, for somebody to have the best season, it gotta be stats. You gotta include stats in it. Now, if you're talking about like other things like MVP, NBA Finals MVP, championship, and all that, either way, I still think that leads to Michael Jordan. Now, if it ain't him, it gotta be LeBron or Kobe, or Shaq or somebody like that. But it gotta be MJ though. It have to be MJ. Like, come on. If you're including anything, stats, MVPs, and championships, like, come on, it gotta be MJ. It have to be.
Had to exclude statistics that were heavily skewed by team performance, like win totals or even stats like offensive and defensive rating. We are, after all, looking for the best individual season. So after much deliberation, I narrowed down the criteria for the best season ever to these 9 factors. Points, rebounds, and assists. If a player was selected to an all-defensive team, if a player won Defensive Player of the Year, if they led the league in one of the 3 major statistics, player efficiency rating, win shares, box plus minus, value over replacement, and just to spice things up, All-Star Game MVP. The total number that a player achieves from these 9 metrics.
I like these 9 factors. I'm rocking with it so far. I like it so far.
Is their season score. The higher the score, the greater the season. And before we get started, I want to point out a few things. As I stated before, I did not factor in MVPs in this experiment because there's just been far too many incredible seasons where players were not crowned the most valuable player. Like in 1989, when Michael Jordan clearly had the best season that year, but Magic Johnson won the MVP. Another thing to keep in mind here is that most statistics that are available today have only been around since 1975. So any great season that took place in the early 70s and 60s was excluded from this experiment, which actually shouldn't even be a problem since a lot of NBA fans act like those seasons never even happened anyway. Another major factor that I left out was postseason success. And I know this will be a controversial decision, but in order to even make it deep into the playoffs, a great player still needs a solid supporting cast, or else he he has no real shot to win it all. An obvious example of this is Nikola Jokic last season with the Nuggets. One of the best individual seasons of all time, just to be knocked out of the first round of the playoffs in a gentleman's sweep. Despite what a player did or did not accomplish throughout a season, we are looking for the best season from a player who had the biggest impact on the court game after game. And after spending countless, mind-numbing, migraine-inducing hours searching through hundreds of seasons from any and every player who even had a shot at putting together an all-time year, I have found the single greatest individual season in NBA history. And it's a season that was so good, no other season by any other player comes even close. But I want to give some perspective on these season scores and what a good season looks like, what a great season looks like, and what an all-time season looks like.
Now with the seasons, right? I think that's fair though. He made a good point about like not including like MVPs and like championships like that, because that's understandable, because he said like Magic Johnson won MVP, even though Michael Jordan clearly had the better season. Also, to have a good team, you need a good supporting cast. Like Jokic, he did have a great season, but yeah, they wasn't good enough to make it to the finals. So that's fair. But these highlights he's showing while he's talking is nuts. These highlights are insane. What he's showing while he's doing the voiceover is crazy.
Back in 2018, LeBron James finished second in MVP voting and had one of the most complete all-around seasons of his career. In hindsight, some fans even believe he should have won the MVP that season. And according to our metric, that year LeBron James had a season score of 109.7. This is a great season by any standard.
2018 Bron was nuts. 2018 Bron was the best player in NBA history. If you look at what he did in that squad he had, the fact they got to the finals is crazy. They had no business in that finals. They really had no business in that finals. They went there strictly because of LeBron. This is the best player by far. LeBron, 2018 season, that is the best player in NBA history right there, in my opinion. Man, he was nuts.
Nearly an all-time season, but James Harden rightfully took home the MVP with a season score of 112.4. In 2015, Steph Curry won his first league
James
MVP
Harden was nice.
and put together one of the most memorable seasons in recent NBA history. That year, his season score was 97.3. In 2006, Kobe Bryant had statistically the best season of his career and achieved a season score of 119.1.
Dang, Kobe! That man averaged 35, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and he was on the NBA All Defensive team. That's crazy, man. Kobe was so nice, dog. Man, Kobe was nice, man. 35 points a game, and he got 2 steals a game. See, that's what superstars are there. Those are great players. You hooping and you're playing great defense. That's basically a person you can't do nothing with.
And yet, Steve Nash won the MVP that season with a season score of just 84.1.
That's a shame.
But these numbers are all relative. A season score of 20 is about league average. A score of about 45 is what you would find in a quality starter. A season score of about 65 is an all-star level season, and a season score of 85 is an all-NBA level season. And once a player gets into the triple digits, a season score of 100 or more, they are well on pace to earning an MVP. But even a score of 100 is nowhere near what a player must accomplish to even crack a top 50 season of all time. Because the 50th greatest individual season came from James Harden in 2018 when he piled up a season score of 112.4. In fact, here's a chart of the top 50 individual seasons in NBA history according to our season score metric. The first 3 seasons to crack the top 50 all came from James Harden in just a 4-year span between 2017 and 2020. Michael Jordan was so good, so early in his career, that even his rookie season made the list as the 42nd best individual season of all time.
That's
Tracy
crazy.
McGrady put together his best season in 2003 with a season score of 115.3. Hakeem's 1994 campaign lands at the 35th spot of all time, and just above him you'll find Steph's unanimous MVP season in 2016. Nikola Jokic achieved a career-high season score last season with a total of 120.3 points, the 23rd best individual season of all time. But Giannis actually scored just slightly higher than Jokic did last season with a season score of 120.9. Russell Westbrook's MVP year is the 17th best individual season of all time and easily the best season of his career. Keep going up and we'll find the best seasons from some of the greatest players of all time. Dwayne Wade in 2009, KG in 2004, Kareem in 76. In 2020, Giannis put together one of the greatest seasons ever with a season score of 129.8.
Dang.
Just behind LeBron's 2009 season, which turns out to be the best individual season of his career, where he earned a season score of 130.2. And after this mark, we enter the Michael Jordan zone, where it's a whole lot of MJ reeling off some of the best individual seasons of all time, year after year. And right at the top are the 3 best individual seasons of all time. David Robinson's criminally underrated 1994 season, Shaq's masterpiece in the 2000 NBA season, and Michael Jordan's 1989 season that earned him a season score of 137.7. Hold up. There's one season missing here. Oh, there it is. Michael Jordan's 19...
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! See, I knew it. I told y'all it was Michael Jordan. It had to be. I knew it. Michael Jordan was a dog. I knew. Michael Jordan's stats was nuts. I knew it had to be him. It had to be him. I knew it. I was not shocked by one bit. But like I said, it was either him, LeBron, Kobe, or Shaq. I think Shaq had he said the second or the third best. I knew it. So I knew it was one of them 4. I'm not shocked by one bit. I'm not shocked.
88 regular season, widely regarded as the greatest of all time. And that's because it is. With a season score of 154.8, Jordan's 1988 campaign is the greatest individual season in NBA history.
Crazy.
And it's not even remotely close.
That is crazy.
But I want to take a deeper look at these results because they reveal some interesting things about what we know and what we thought we knew. Some all-time legends that didn't even have a single season that made the top 50 list include Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, Charles Barkley, Dirk Nowitzki, and many more. On the other hand, there have been a handful of players that have had multiple seasons that cracked the top 50. These players include Michael Jordan with 11 top 50 seasons of all time, LeBron James with 5, James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and David Robinson with 4 apiece, Kareem and Garnett with 3, and Hakeem, Kobe, Jokic, Shaq, and Chris Paul, all with 2 top 50 seasons each. But the most interesting thing that these numbers reveal is that the second best individual season in NBA history didn't even earn an MVP. Michael Jordan's 1989 season ranks second all-time among season scores, and somehow he still finished second in MVP voting that season behind Magic Johnson, who earned a season score of 100.
Okay, so I was wrong then. Okay, so he averaged 33, 8, and 8. I thought it was like 36, 37, 8, and 8. That's still nuts. That's still crazy. Hey, Magic was hooping though. The Lakers probably had a better record than the Bulls though. That's what I'm thinking. That's the only way Magic could have got that. Because Magic 23, 13, and 8, that's that's nice too. MJ was way better than him though, in my opinion, with that season though. But if Magic got that and then the team had a better record, I'm not really mad at that now. After looking at Magic's stats and like the win shares, player efficiency rating, and everything else, like I'm not really mad at that. Both of them was hooping though, so I can't get mad at either one really. But MJ, he was definitely better than Magic though. That's clear.
103.9.
I'm not mad at it,
a great
though.
score, but nowhere near the season Michael had. And if you take a look at their numbers throughout that season, it's clear that a robbery took place here. Same thing happened in 1990 when Michael Jordan put up the 5th highest season score in NBA history and finished not second, but 3rd in MVP voting behind Magic Johnson and Charles Barkley.
Oh, wow.
And again, the numbers are clear as day. This MVP should have gone to Michael, and it's not even close. Now, the idea that Michael Jordan and LeBron James should have probably won more MVPs throughout their careers becomes even more glaring through the lens of this season score metric. But of all the seasons that made an appearance on this list, only the 2009 season features 3 players who all put up top 50 seasons of all time. That year, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Paul all not only had historically great seasons, all 3 of them put up top 25 seasons in NBA history. As I spoke about before, in most seasons, a game score of 100 will give a player real shot at winning the league MVP. CP3, D-Wade, and LeBron all had season scores of over 120. But with this NBA season being flooded with all-time talent and incredible performances every single night, are there any players that are putting together seasons this year that would crack this all-time list? We'll have to make a couple estimations here because some stats within our metric like VORP and win shares are cumulative stats. But at their current pace, here are the projected season scores for the best players in the NBA this season, with the top 5 season scores coming from Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, and Tatum. And if a season score of 100 warrants a real shot at the MVP award, then there are currently six players who are all having an MVP caliber season. But in terms of cracking the top 50 list, only Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic are on pace to making the cut. In fact, Luka is on pace to racking up a season score of 123.1, which would earn him the 15th best individual season of all time. Right behind.
Now, Luka and Jokic, they are hooping. They are hooping this season. I will admit, they are hooping. Both of them great players. Now, personally, me who I think should win MVP this season, I don't think he included MVP. But I don't think they're the 2 best players this season, in my opinion. It might be Embiid and Giannis. Now, Jokic, just to think about Jokic, I like Jokic. I want him to succeed. I have no problem with that. But my thing is with Luka and Jokic, speaking of them, they are great offensive players. They're excellent. They're unstoppable. I'm not going to bash them not one bit. They're great players. But my thing is them on the defensive end. Like, that's where I kind of knock them at. Like, teams, like, literally point them out. Hey, whoever he guarding, give him the ball. Like, they do that with Luka and Jokic. They go at them. Whoever guarding them, they give that player the ball, and they put both of them to work. Both of them great players. Both of them are unstoppable on offense. It's just the defensive end I have a problem with them. That's my problem with them. So this year, I think MVP should go to Embiid or Giannis, though. That's my opinion, though. Because Giannis and Embiid both are great defensively. And their teams, well, I think Giannis the number 1 in the East right now. Of course, Denver number 1 in the West right now, but they're kind of struggling right now. So that might mess up Jokic. And Embiid, I think 76ers, I think 3rd, but they're not that far behind from being 2nd in the East. So we'll just have to see how the season ends, to be honest. But that's just my opinion.
Behind LeBron's 2013 season, and Nikola Jokic is on pace to having a season score of 116.4, which would land him at the 38th spot all-time. And after gathering data from hundreds of seasons of dozens of players, I got to thinking about peaks. Who was the best when they were at their best? Some players have maybe 1 or 2 seasons that stand far above any other year they've put together, like Tracy McGrady in 2003 or Russell Westbrook in 2017, while other players completely control the game on an individual level season after season. So here is a chart of NBA legends and the combined season scores of the best 5-year stretch of their career. For example, Isaiah Thomas's best 5-year stretch came between 1984 and 1988, where his total season scores throughout those years was 379.3. Damian Lillard's run from 2017 to 2021 earned him a total of 438.9. Just above Magic Johnson and Moses Malone is Karl Malone, who is the first player on this chart to crack 500. Nikola Jokic is currently in his best 5-year stretch and has a total score of 508.8. But this number will jump much higher after this season, somewhere around the 540 range. Kobe, Hakeem, and Bird all had similarly great primes in the NBA, ranging from 514 to 518. Tim Duncan is sandwiched right between Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Our first big jump occurs with James Harden's run between 2016 and 2020.
Yeah, that was a crazy run.
After these marks, we get into the very best individual runs in NBA history. Shaq in the early 2000s, a young Kareem, a mind-boggling 5-year individual stretch from David Robinson in the mid-90s, Giannis's current historic run dating back to 2018, and LeBron James.
David Robinson was nice. Like, David Robinson was that dude. I think he kind of underrated in NBA history, to be honest. He was nice. He was real nice.
James at his absolute peak from 2008 to 2012. Just 5 points shy of cracking the 600 mark. Possibly the greatest individual prime of all time. Well, at least it would have been if Michael Jordan didn't exist. Because from 1988 to 1992, MJ rattled off 5 of the top 16 individual seasons of all time. By far, the greatest stretch of seasons we've ever seen from any player, earning him a prime total score of 680.9.
MJ need to chill out. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Nah, see, this is the thing right here. I think LeBron the GOAT. But this is the thing about me. I'm a LeBron fan, but I'm not going to disrespect Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was that dude. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, he wasn't that good. He went against plumbers. He's not the greatest. LeBron's. I'm not going to be dumb. I think LeBron better than him, but I'm not going to sit here and act stupid, act like Michael Jordan wasn't that dude. Michael Jordan was that guy. I understand why people think he's the GOAT. I have no problem thinking with people thinking Michael Jordan the GOAT. I understand. I understand. Michael Jordan was that dude, but my goodness, he got every stat.
Leaving him in a league of his own, even amongst the greatest players in NBA history. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Man. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is one of the most unique players in NBA history. Just the things he's done, speaking of it. He got 6 championships, 10 scoring titles. He got Defensive Player of the Year. How many gold medals he got? He got 1, I think, or 2. I don't know. But either way, no, he got 1, I think. I think he got to be a 5 or 6-time NBA MVP. Of course, 6-time Finals MVP. Michael Jordan was insane. That man is a different breed. Now, even though as a LeBron fan, I don't like when other LeBron fans disrespect Michael Jordan. Like, come on. Like, that's going too far, in my opinion. We should not be acting dumb as like Michael Jordan wasn't that dude. Like, when people say Michael Jordan the GOAT, I don't get mad at them. I only get mad at people when they say Michael Jordan the GOAT and LeBron is 10th all time. That's my problem. Like, if you say LeBron too, I'm not mad. But you say he like there's some people out there thinking there's 9, 10, or even 15 people better than LeBron. You just got too much hate in your heart to think that. That's too much right there. But man, this is another great video from Jimmy. Hey, comment down below y'all thoughts about these stats Jimmy said and all these these game scores, like the primes, the peaks. And I hope everyone have a blessed day. I'm out.